wanted to see me?
I'm one of the 25 richest men in Britain. By next month, according to my accountants, I'll be a fully fledged billionaire. I've got everything a man could want. Houses, boats, cars, planes, golf courses, stables, a football club, an island.
Several islands, in fact. And as of this morning, a couple of diamond mines.
Diamond mines? I like it. But I have never walked into a restaurant and have every other geezer look at me with his eyes on stalks because of the date I'm with, and I want that.
You rotter! You complete tosser! If you haven't noticed, Miriam happens to be a very, very attractive
woman for her age, I know. God bless her, she doesn't look 45. She looks 42 in a harsh light. But geezers' eyes don't pull out on stops for 42-year-olds. I want someone 21 or 22, page 3 girl.
Please tell me you're joking. No, you're not, are you? Isn't it enough that men envy your cars and houses and private jet?
With their houses, I'm not there to see it unless I'm sitting out in the front. And who has time for that? And when I pass people on the motorway, I only get them drooling for a second, and then I'm overtaking them, I'm looking at the road again. No, with a restaurant, it's different. Throughout the whole meal, they'll be peeking, stealing little peeks every time their girlfriends or their wives aren't watching.
And you don't expect that will make you uncomfortable?
On the contrary, I'll be having a lovely gloat.
Don't you think that's a bit childish and shallow?
I think it's extremely childish and shallow. But if a billionaire can't be those things without apology, who can?
I think you're making a frightful mistake.
Do you suppose we might be able to get hold of Britney Spears? I think she might be perfect. Or that other one, the little slag. Aquafina, is that her name?
I think they prefer to go out with men who don't look like their granddads. And they won't be interested in your money. They've got their own.
Oh, well, ring a few modelling agencies then. But tell them, we don't want just leggy. We want busty as well. Cleavage, loads of it. As far as the eye can see.
Perhaps I should ring a few escort agencies as well.
Tiffany? Tiffany? Tiffany!
It's Stefani now?
The long and the short of it, Tiffany...
Stefani!
Tiffany, is that I'm leaving your mum.
And that's what you interrupted my sulking to say? When did you come to this decision?
Well, I've been coming to it over the past year. I mean, your mum's my best friend, but...
You rotter. You complete tosser! I'm out of here.
That went better than I dared hope.
Oh yeah, and can I have 50 quid for an outfit I saw?
We understand you're very keen on sport.
Very keen indeed. Football and league rugby. Fabulous.
So I imagine you support either Cardiff or Swansea?
Actually, no. I support all the London teams, except Arsenal. Chelsea, Fulham, Spurs, Man United.
So you'll be interested to know that I own most of Frognall City.
They're brilliant as well. Can't imagine why I forgot to mention them.
Perhaps that's because there is no such team.
Syria. I assume that wasn't the name Mum and Dad gave you.
No, it's like my professional name, innit?
So what are your feelings on the Middle East? You know, Israel, the Palestinians, Jordan.
Well, I think she's a no-talent little slag, don't I?
Can you tell us where you stand on Iraq?
No, my darling. It's another country in the Middle East. You've heard of Saddam Hussein?
Yeah. I think you should lay off the poor little rotter. I mean, what's he ever done to us?
Well, you may recall there was some talk about the weapons of mass destruction.
Disgraceful. I mean, I think Catholics have as much right as white people to worship as they see fit.
I'm going to be singing Unbreak My Heart by Tony Braxton.
Sorry?
Unbreak my heart, say you love me again.
Oh, terrific, very moving. But may I ask why you're singing for us?
This is for Pop Idol, isn't it?
Well, actually, no. This hasn't got anything to do with Pop Idol.
Oh, I got my appointments mixed up. I didn't think you looked like Simon Cowell.
You list travel as one of your main interests.
Yeah, travel's wicked, isn't it? You know, like going to places and that, and seeing other, what's that word? You know, what the...
Cultures?
That's it, in action.
And you've done quite a lot of travelling, have you?
Yeah, quite a bit. I feel it's sort of, you know... Oh, what's that other word?
Broadening?
That's it, broadening, yeah.
So what would you say is your favourite foreign city?
Well, Paris is cracking, of course. Then there's Rome. But I think I'll probably have to say Wales.
Well, I must say you're rather a change of pace. Have you done much nude modelling?
Well, not for page 3, but I was on page 21 once, and I posed for live drawing at the art college down the road. Bloody freezing it was.
How did you hear about this, may I ask?
Well, I'm a receptionist at one of the escort agencies.
Darling, look, you're not really what we're looking for.
Don't worry, I'm getting implants. I would have saved enough by the end of 2006, and I could prove it. I bought one of my bank statements.
Actually, Desiree, that won't be necessary. Malcolm?
Please! This is all I've dreamed of! What? You touch me, you great blinking knobstick, and I'll kick you back to the Stonian era! Oh! Off me!
I'm sorry, who are you?
Cynthia Crumlin.
I'm sorry, I can't seem to find your name.
I hadn't actually scheduled an audition.
Interview.
I call it what you will. I came with my mate Judith, who probably told you her name was Brandy with an I. I was hoping Mr. Horowitz would let me share a few thoughts with him.
A few thoughts is more than the rest of the girls we've seen today have had between them.
So your presumption is that I'm thick?
Looking at you, my darling, my guess is you're not Dr. Stephen Hawking's #1 research assistant?
So you assume that because I look... How would you describe my appearance?
Utterly gorgeous.
Well, horny. A 12 and a half.
Good enough to eat.
Ah, double entendre. Very witty. So your assumption is because I'm shaggable looking, I must be dim.
Your words, darling, not mine.
So you imagine that all ginger-haired people are hot-tempered?
Have you ever met one that wasn't?
I did once. Martin something. Salt of the earth he was. Never did learn his last name. Never a complaint from Martin.
And black's lazy, I imagine.
I didn't say that. Those are not my words.
And Jews have a penchant for usury and swindling, right?
Use?
Money lending.
May interest you to know, my darling, that I'm Jewish myself.
I know that, Mr. Horowitz. I read the newspapers without moving my lips or pointing at the words in turn. And my mum's Jewish.
I think that's all we need, Miss Crumlin. Thanks for your time.
I was just wondering if you'd ever considered offering a vegetarian alternative to your traditional reclaimed protein kebab.
That really will be quite enough, Miss Crumlin. Perhaps Malcolm would be kind enough to show...
Hang on. This one has possibilities. So, my darling, instead of meat turning on a spit, you'd envisage what? A giant parsnip, perhaps?
There's no need for flippancy, Mr. Horowitz.
Simon.
Not sure I'm comfortable with that. No, not an enormous parsnip. More delicious alternatives to meat are being introduced every month. I could take you to a restaurant in central London that serves textured soy protein, which I promise you wouldn't be able to tell from real beef, pork and lamb.
How about if I take you?
Are you asking me out, Mr. Horowitz?
Please, sigh. Well, I'm not going to lie and tell you her sense of humour is the thing I like best about her, but it may be number 5.
After the...
And the pins.